Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with part 2 of the Christmas Folio mini album tutorial. You have all the measurements in the cutting guide that you can download from the link in the description under the video. So we're going to continue working on the right side of our folio, and we're going to work on the cover of the inside. On the right side, we're going to cover our piece of white cardstock with pattern paper, and we're going to attach this piece to the inside of our folio on the right side. Next, we're going to create a flap that is going to go under the piece that we're going to attach, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Basically what we're creating is a flap with a spine. We need a thick spine to allow for all the waterfall flaps that we're going to add. So we're going to fold on the 2 score lines that we did. And then we're going to cover this flap with cover papers and attach it to the folio. This is going to go under that piece, that red paper piece that we did. So first we're going to apply glue on the left little part between the edge and the first score line, only on that side, only on that part, and attach our second piece to it. Burnish it really well. Make sure it's aligned with the score line but not on top of it, so it will be easy to fold and it will not interfere with the movement. And this is going to go on the right side of our folio. So we're going to apply glue on the bottom of our red covered paper, and then attach it to the right side of the folio, aligning it with the top, the bottom, and the right edge. So now we have the flap with the spine attached. This is not very straight. I want to make sure it's straight. Okay. So next we can go ahead and cover this flap on both sides. You see that it has the spine on the right side, and this will allow for all the waterfall flaps that we're going to add, because they're going to add volume and we need to allow for that volume. So that's why the flap has this thick spine or wide spine. So we're going to cover it on both sides with pattern papers. Make sure that the papers are completely aligned with the edges of the paper. You see there is that white space, that is the spine. You can cut a small strip of paper to cover that, but I'm not going to cover it. I'm going to leave it white. Now for the outside, again you can see that I'm using liquid glue because it allows me to move the paper into position, make sure it's aligned with all the edges before it dries. When you work with a dry glue like double-sided tape, it can be a little more difficult and sometimes impossible to wiggle the paper and make sure that it goes where you want it to go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start adding our waterfall flaps. So for that, you're going to need 8 pieces of white cardstock, and I'm going to show you also how to cover them. Each of these pieces are scored at 1/2 inch and you're going to fold all the score lines and all the pieces to prepare them for the folio. You will also need cover papers, and instead of cover papers, of course, you can add your photos and on both sides. So I'm just going to show you how to cover the white cardstock and give you the measurements, but you can do this with photos instead. You have room for 16 photos because we have 8 flaps. So I went ahead and covered all my flaps, and now I'm going to show you how to attach them to the folio. So you need to arrange them, of course, according to the order that you want. We're going to start with the first one. So apply glue to the back side of that little flap that you folded. And again, liquid glue is the best, but use whatever glue you are comfortable with, and then align it with the red paper towards the top edge of the red paper. Then take the second piece, apply glue the same way, and attach it, aligning it with the first piece, with the bottom of that little tab, that little flap that you glued. And then you continue to do the same with all 8 pieces. And this creates this waterfall, this cascade effect of all the 8 papers that you're adding. And you can add photos to each of them on the top and on the other side. So you have room for 16 photos, which is a lot. So I'm just going to keep on adding all my papers, all my flaps, and make sure they're all aligned. And you can see that I've covered each one with a different paper, and of course you can do the same, or do it all, cover them all with the same paper, and play with some of them with paper, some of them with photos. You can just use your imagination and make it your own, give it your own personal touch. So just keep on adding all those flaps. And again, make sure they're aligned with the paper and the other flaps that you have added before. The last one. This is a really fun project. We have room for all your holiday photos. Okay, so now that all the pieces are attached, you can see how fun this is. This is the waterfall. Isn't that fun? And the flap has enough room to be closed, and even after you add more photos, it will still have enough room. Next, we're going to add a little pocket. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And then we're going to fold on those score lines to create our pocket. Creating pockets is really easy. We've done this before. Just fold on the score lines. Burnish it well with your bone folder or with your finger. Then we're going to cut the corners. I like to cut it straight and then slightly diagonal. It's much easier to fold this way. You don't want it to be too bulky when you fold one flap on the other. So this way it creates a pocket without too much volume. I'm going to cover it with a piece of pattern paper. and then I'm going to attach it to the front of the flap that we have on the right side of our folio. Okay, so we have this covered. Now we can apply glue to the 3 little flaps and attach the pocket to the front of the folio of the flap that is inside the folio. And again, here you can add journaling cards and more photos, and basically our Christmas folio mini album is ready. I want to please encourage you to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all my tutorials. Now all that you need to do is embellish your folio, the front, the inside, add stickers, add flowers, add whatever embellishments that you want. I've just cut 2 pieces from the pattern paper that I'm going to add to the front. And I want to thank everyone for joining me. I really hope you like this 2-part tutorial. You're going to make it for all your holiday photos. It's really a cool way to keep all those festive and fun memories that you will definitely have this Christmas. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Really like this project. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really want to wish all of you a very happy and Merry Christmas. Have lots of fun with your family and friends. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.